Hello?
So, the Switch conference is mere days away. In just a few days, we will have all the info we've been waiting for. Release date, launch games, price point, specs, Mario's shoe size, it'll all be there. Here on the Commonwealth Realm, we've talked about spec leaks, games, region locking, and more. And it all comes to a head in just a few days. But one of the most important aspects of the Switch launch is, of course, the price. How much will the Switch be at launch? What's a good price? How much is too much? How much is not enough? Well, let's have a little chat. First, a bit of history. When the Wii launched, way back when, it was set at $250. That price was seen as the perfect companion price to the much more expensive PS3 and Xbox 360 at the time. The 3DS launched at $250 also, but was quickly dropped to $170, prompting the whole Nintendo Ambassador program. Now, let's take a look at the consoles of today. The cheapest PS4 SKU is currently at $300, and the cheapest Xbox One SKU is also at $300. So, as you can tell from all these numbers, the $250 to $300 range is key. This is the range in which the Switch will no doubt reside when it launches in March. Now, pricing games and consoles is a difficult problem to solve. If you go too high, no one wants to pay that much for anything, and instead they go for the cheaper consoles. But if you set the price too low, people will think that it's not as good and that Nintendo maybe doesn't have faith in it. With the PS4 and Xbox One both at $300 for their cheapest options, the Switch cannot go above this number. With all the leaks and rumors that we've heard so far, we know one thing for sure. The Switch is not going to be a powerhouse console. It's not going to be directly competing with the PS4 or Xbox One, and certainly not with the PS4 Pro or the Scorpio. So, if the Switch is over $300, but it doesn't match up to the PS4 or Xbox One in terms of power and specs, consumers will be concerned that they're getting a ripoff. In May of 2016, Nintendo stated that they will not sell the Switch at a loss, which means the price will not be dropping anytime soon. If this is the case, $250 will most likely make them break even, while $300 will see Nintendo maybe gaining a small profit on each Switch that they sell. Also, by setting the price at $300, there's room for a price drop later while still keeping their overhead in the black. Imagine parents going into Walmart and seeing a shelf that has the PS4 at $300, the Xbox One at $300, and the Switch also at $300, or maybe even $290 or $280. I mean, even that small difference will be enough to make the Switch seem much more appealing to the average family or casual gamer when it comes time to buy a console for a birthday or a holiday, especially if it comes bundled with a game. A new Switch and a game at $300, now that would sell. On the other hand, however, I could also see this console going above $300, perhaps even into the $400 range. Let me explain. It all depends on how they decide to market the device. If it's marketed as a gaming console or as a handheld gaming device like 3DS or Vita, then $300 is the absolute limit. However, if they market the device as a tablet, then the price range changes. Although we don't know the actual specs of the system, we do have some rumors that all point to a very similar set of leaked specs. Taking a look at a similarly spec'd tablet, for example, the Nexus 9, we can get an idea of what that could mean. The Nexus 9 currently sells for $400 for 16 gigabytes and $480 for 32 gigabytes. So, if the Switch is as powerful as the rumors suggest, and also takes the place of the Wii U and the 3DS together, perhaps Nintendo could market it as such and set the price a little higher than we expect. It's a home console, it's a handheld device, and it's a tablet. So, possibly, unlikely, but still possible, they could charge $400 or more for it, as it certainly is a premium device. A 3-in-1 device, pack in a game, $400. I could see that possibly being the case at launch. However, as I stated earlier, for the average consumer walking into Walmart, seeing a Switch and then a cheaper PS4 for example, they would be much more likely to buy the cheaper hardware. So, Nintendo really is in a tight spot when it comes to setting the price. Too high, you shut out the market. Too low, people think it's just a toy and they don't take it seriously. At any rate, we only have a few days to wait before we have all the precious info in our laps, and we'll have about 25 bajillion videos analyzing every frame of the entire conference. So, be sure to subscribe to the Commonwealth Roam so you don't miss it.